Base44 and Manus are two of the most popular AI app builders and AI agents on the market right now. In this video, I'm going to explain the similarities and differences between these two tools so you can decide which one is best for your use case and which one you should use. So on the left side here is Base44, on the right side is Manus. Now, right off the bat, I think that Base44 is generally going to be a better tool as a personal agent, a personal AI agent, and an AI app builder. It has that functionality really nicely built in. If you want to build out an MVP, build out a prototype, build out a CRM, something like that. Manus, on the other hand, I think has more advanced features. You can even just see from the interface, it's a little bit more complicated. There's more buttons to click, which I'll explain why a little bit later in the video. So you're going to want to stick around. There's also some surprises later in the video about both of these tools that I was surprised about when I learned. But with Manus, I would say it's generally going to be better for a business use case if you want to build business automations. It also has the functionality of building MVPs, internal apps, prototypes, those types of things with user authentication and a backend database similar to Base44. Again, I'm going to get into that in this video, but that's kind of the headline. But you're going to want to keep watching to understand more of the similarities and differences between these two tools. So let's start with some of the differences. Base44 started out as an AI app builder with a user authentication and a backend database. It was all integrated, one of the first to integrate everything and make it really easy to build AI apps. Still one of my favorite tools that I still recommend to people. And then they more recently added this super agent feature. So the agent feature is kind of like OpenClaw, if you're familiar with OpenClaw, this personal AI agent that can complete tasks for you. There's basically one ongoing chat. You can also chat with it in WhatsApp, Telegram, or iMessage. It has integrations where you can connect different integrations of your life, like Gmail or Notion or Slack, to Base44 so that it can take action and get information from those integrations. There's a knowledge base as well, a memory, and then also scheduled tasks that you can run. So for example, here's a scheduled task, weekly YouTube video ideas that I set up as a test. It also can have artifacts. So for example, I built some apps here in the Base44 agent that it has in the artifacts page. Now, Manus, on the other hand, it does have this ability to have one agent that you are basically chatting to in one ongoing chat, which you can connect to Telegram, WhatsApp, or Slack as well. But there's also this concept of tasks. So tasks in Manus basically show up on the left side. So it makes it easier to kind of run multiple tasks at the same time, which I think is helpful for a business use case. Tasks in Manus can also be run on a schedule. And then Manus, which started as an AI agent that does work for you, has added on the functionality more recently to have a web app builder built in, so you can build an app with user authentication and a backend database with Manus. So it kind of did it in reverse. Manus started with the agent and added the app building. Base44 started with app building and then added the agent. But again, I think that generally, even just from like the design with the way that you can have multiple tasks running at once, the way that there's a little bit more functionality here in Manus, it's a little bit more for business use cases compared to Base, which I think is a little bit more for like a personal agent. Think of like your personal chief of staff kind of thing. So there's one more big difference that I want to highlight here with Manus versus Base44. And that is in the integrations. So if we click on the connect apps and we go to manage connectors, so here under connectors, we have the ability to, similar to Base44, there's default like one-click integrations. Something nice that Manus has as well is Instagram and Meta built in because Meta purchased Manus. So the Meta Ads Manager is integrated, which is really cool. I've heard some mixed reviews so far about it. Like it can be helpful, might not be quite there yet, but I think that's going to keep getting better and better. These two tabs are tabs that we do not have in Base44 right now. So the ability to add a custom API and also the ability to add a custom MCP. So this is giving you more capability to add more connectors than Base44 is going to have out of the box. Base44 does have enough connectors, I think, for most use cases, but it's not quite as extendable as Manus. So again, this is where I think it goes. Manus is maybe a little bit more helpful for a business use case compared to Base44. Something else that Manus has that Base44 doesn't have is this ability to set a custom email, and then you can send emails to that email address to create tasks. You can also add a workflow email, so you can customize email addresses and instructions to process different tasks. So there's kind of some more advanced functionality here around that. We can also see all the scheduled tasks in one place in Manus, the same way we have the tasks feature in Base44. So that part is similar. We also have a little bit more capability to decide what model to use in Manus. So in Manus, you have these Manus models, but you could decide between light, normal, and max. So these are just going to use different amounts of tokens, basically, of credits. If you use Base44, on the other hand, you don't have that option. You don't even know what model is being used. I guess with Manus, you don't really either. It's just their own proprietary model, or maybe they have a mix of models in the background of what they're using. In Base, same thing. Base, you really don't know. And you also don't have the ability to switch between like low, medium, or high, or anything like that in terms of the intelligence of the model. So that's a difference between Manus and Base44. Let me know in the comments what you think. I think both of them are really great, and both of them have free trials, so it can be worth just creating an account, testing it out with some of your own personal use cases, and seeing how well you think both of them do. Because at the end of the day, everyone is going to have their own use cases for these types of tools. So the best way to know if they're valuable for you is to create an account, use their free trial, and actually give it real use cases connected to your real data and see if you're getting value out of it. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to get free content like this. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.